Okay, folks, today is going to be podcast history. For the first time in a podcast, I don't have a clue about what I'm going to talk about today. It's all going to be improvised. Have we spoken at all today, Christian, about what I'm going to talk about?
No.
Do you see any earpiece in that you could see that I'm getting information from?
No.
Is there anything up my sleeves?
No. Well, I don't know. I haven't
Well,
patted you down
what,
yet.
you want to take a look? I mean, what are you
I
worried?
believe you.
Nothing, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is and I didn't look at this today. I have a news feed on the iPhone. Let me put it up. And I'm going to pull it up. Now, I do have a little bit of an advantage because there are two things that you could probably guess what I'm going to be in the news. What do you think that is, Christian?
Two things that you're going to talk about.
Well,
that have
it's
been
going to be in
news?
the news. We know there's
Biden dropping out
and
Trump getting.
no, the Secret Service is testifying. So
Oh, okay.
I have a little bit
didn't
of an
even know that.
advantage because I know about. So I am sure that's going to be. But besides, I have not looked at the news. What I have is a smart news app on my iPhone. And of course, because I'm so smart, it's apropos. Would you agree?
I would probably agree with that.
All right, thank you so
I'm
much.
probably not qualified.
I'll give you
to
back
agree.
the 150. Don't negate it. You almost blew it. All right, so let's start. So I got top news, and I got everything, and I'll tell you where it's from or whatever. So what do you think is the number one story that top news is going to have today? What would you guess?
Biden dropping out.
Okay, that's wrong. Bull sharks are thriving in warming water.
Okay.
Very important. I mean, forget about Biden dropping out, the Secret Service. This is what's important. And this is from Semaphore. Have you heard of Semaphore? No.
Nope.
Tom Chivers wrote this.
Oh, Tom?
Tom, and it's bull sharks are thriving in warming water. Some like it hot. Oh boy, this guy's clever, huh? What a genius. The new juvenile bull sharks are thriving in the warming waters of Texas and Alabama's estuaries. Okay, so who gives a shit? All right, thank you, Tom. All right, here we go. Secret Service, I knew we were going to have this. Secret Service hearing, director says, what does she say? Oh, watch live. Secret Service director testifies about Trump shooting. Okay, so this is going to be my Melissa Quinn in CBS News. So I can tell you right now, she's either going to resign or she's going to get fired. I mean, what are you wasting time for? You can't have, you're in charge, and then the ex-president tried to get assassinated, and you think you're going to keep your job. It's not happening. Just get out. Look at what happened with Biden. Up to Sunday morning, he said he's going in. He's not leaving. How many times did he say he's not going? And he's going. When it's that obvious, you just leave. And I mean, it just goes to show you. I mean, she's probably a nice woman. She's been in the Secret Service for 27 years, and then she got to be the head of it. But she's not competent. And it really goes to society in general. We have a problem, and that is ambition without competency. And I looked at this, I was just thinking about this in general, and what I did is I went to sports, and I looked at baseball, and here's the standings in baseball, right? So what I did is I took the best team right now. Let me get the best team. The best team, the Orioles, are 606. So they're the best in the AL. And then in the end, oh, okay. So the Philadelphia Phillies have the best record. Let's go look at that, right? So let's go back and take a game that they played. I know, I'm sorry it's taking a little longer than, because like I said, this is all improv. Let's go to the Phillies. Where is the Phillies? Here we go. They beat the Pirates. All right. So I'm going to look at the lineup, right? And this is the best team in the majors, right? Not, I could take the worst team. So let's go and look at the 6, the 7, the 8, and the 9th hitter. Now, these are going to be people that their whole lives since they were a child were dreaming about being professionals. They were practicing day and night, right? The 8th and the 9th hitter is hitting 193 and 202 on the best team. So obviously this is crap, right? So what you have is 2 out of the 9, and I gotta say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th hitter is hitting 239. So you really have 3 of the lineup is really insufficient. Even the leadoff guy is hitting 244, which is not really good. But let's go with 3 out of 9. That's about 33% of the lineup in the professional league, in the best team, is incompetent. Look what they're hitting. So you don't think if you want to extrapolate that you're going to have that in society? And I think that's pretty much about right. I think 33%. I mean, you could have in the House of Representatives, that would be 120 schmagegis there. If you had in the Senate out of 100, you got 33 of them. And that's really just all over. You could look at the Secret Service. You could look at wherever you want. You're going to have about 33% of the population is completely no good. And that's really what it goes to. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, if you're going to have an assassination attempt on the ex-president and you still go before, I mean, if it was me, I'm already just apologizing to everybody and I'm saying, look, I believe in myself. I think I'm all right. But because of such an abject failure, I'm going to step down. That's what I would do. And I would apologize. But no, look, she's stubborn. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but she should get out. Next. Oh, by the way, let me know when we hit 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm already probably going to overfumfer here. People are going to be like, I'll be like the Secret Service. Be like, would you get off already?
We're at
You're
8
part of the
minutes in. You got plenty of
33%.
time.
What?
We're 8 minutes in. You got plenty of time.
I do?
Oh yeah.
You know what it is? It's like boxing. You study jujitsu, right?
I boxed.
Oh, you boxed, right? So you remember, well, I started when I was really older. So I started boxing at 45. And it's like, you're in the ring, right? And you're going, there's something wrong with the bell. What?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's only a minute and you're already like, hey, is the bell for get me the hell? That's
even
basically
2-minute rounds.
Huh?
Like 10-minute rounds.
I know, right? You're like, and then they're telling you, breathe through your nose. Don't breathe through your mouth. Okay, anyway, let's do this. What is next? At least 39 Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks on Khan Yunis. This is 1 hour ago, right? Who wrote this? Nobody wrote this. It's by DPA International without a writer. It just happened. Look, obviously, any loss of life, from innocent civilians is always a tragedy. But first of all, who is telling us that how many and at least 39 were killed and 80 more were injured, according to the hospital staff now? So this is not from the Hamas, what do they call it? The Hamas, medical. I forgot what it's called. What is it? The Hamas, usually it's the medical thing, which is like an oxymoron. The terrorists have some kind of they're giving information. Um, I mean, look, you got you got 26 miles of beachfront property. Why don't you show the world what you could do with it and then make a claim that you want more land or you want more? But you right away you're building tunnels and you're firing rockets. You're on the beach. You're in Malibu of the Mediterranean where you are. You got 80-degree weather. Why don't you go from where you are and then make a claim? Right away, you're attacking and you're trying to destroy innocent Israelis. You want to fire rockets, and then look at this is a tragedy. It's all the way around. It's a tragedy. Anytime you have a loss of life, it's a tragedy. Anybody knows this. All right. Here's another Israeli story. It's amazing how many Israeli stories you have. And Israel, you remember with the Globe, you're talking about, everybody's talking about Israel. Israel is like, if you look at the Globe, which if you look at my previous podcast, they're 1/4 of a forefinger on the world globe. I mean, it's obvious that this is some kind of anti-Semitic thing. It's not a coincidence that the whole world is preoccupied with what's happening in 1/4 of a forefinger already. My God, it's right out in the open. What is this? Israel Olympic team given 24-hour security after French MP says you're not welcome. Who wrote this? Ben Ashton. Israeli athletes will be given round the clock after a French said they are not welcome in Paris. Well, that's very nice. Maybe they got that from whatchamacallit, Maxine Waters with that speech. What kind of speech is that? Gather around, make a ruckus, tell them you can't talk like this. People get the wrong idea, regardless of what you mean. You have to speak civilized if you're in a position of power. You're going to get some Nimrod, some 20-year-old idiot that wasn't raised properly by his parents, and he's going to decide that he's going to take action for whatever reason, and that's cool. Lower it. Don't speak like that. You want to talk like that? Well, you shouldn't talk like that anywhere. But especially if you're a congresswoman, you speak like that, it's not proper. Look at what these people are saying. It's really disgusting. Next. What do we got? Okay, here's this. Inside the Democratic reboot, joy, hope, and fear. Jonathan Martin, where did he write this from? I don't know. Well, look, what are you waiting? You're waiting till the middle of July, and now you're deciding that Joe Biden shouldn't go forward? It kind of reminds me a little bit of, when you have a test, right? And then you study the morning of the test. You think maybe it's a little too late at that point? Yeah. I would say a year ago then they could question if he feels that, because they're already saying this. If you're not competent to run, then how are you competent to be in office?
Right.
But he could say that, well, I know that I would have to be there for 4 years, so I don't think that 2 years from now based on it, but right now I'm still okay. That would be a good answer. But in the middle of July, he comes out with a statement, and then the whole thing is upside down right now for the Democratic Party. You got to gather people and structure and who's going to be the vice. It's a whole mess. So it's really a turmoil because I mean, they went in a panic, is what happened. I mean, they got a poll. I heard something in Michigan that he was going to be behind 7. Who knows what poll? I never got polled in my whole life. Have you ever got a poll? No, but well, I don't count. Where's the call to me? Our opinion is nothing. In fact, they said, don't even ask Christian. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't call him.
That's actually true.
That is true?
Yeah.
They know that, right?
Yeah,
I figured that. No, I would call you, though. I believe in you.
Thank you.
I really do. But I never got polling. Who's polling? What are you polling? They never even tell you how many Democrats they're polling and how many Republicans they're polling. Do you notice that? They just say it's a poll. So what are you panicking because they say he's going to lose Michigan? Oh no, get him out of there. Let's get Kamala in. How do you know what she's going to do in Michigan? That's that. Oh, wait a second. I got an advertisement. I have PB Catch Seafood Raw Bar. It's a sophisticated ode to seafood. Christian, it's sophisticated. What do you think is an unsophisticated ode to seafood? They probably just throw it on your plate and they say, here, eat it and shut the hell up.
Probably.
Huh? Anyway, so that's what I got. That's an ad. What do we got here? Harris raises nearly $50 million after. Where did they get all this money? Where is this flying around? $50 million. That's not small change. I remember when they had the whole thing with Columbia and the tents and all the donors, and they said the donors they gave $100 million, they're not giving anymore. And my mother, a lot of common sense, she goes, they're giving $100 million to school and people are in a hospital. What are these people? Why don't you? You know what? Why don't you give it to the hospitals? Huh? So this way, maybe people would be able to afford their medical bill. How about that idea? Oh, nah, we're going to give $50 million now. They're giving hundreds of millions of dollars. What did you? It's absolutely ridiculous, Anyway, she raised $50 million. So we raised nearly $50 million in grassroots. The grass. They gave grass roots. They gave her. It was valued at $50 million. There's a whole lot of grass, which they love grass because everybody's getting high and they're all happy. That's the most important thing today. Go ahead and listen to Bill Maher and get stoned, and you'll be very happy with yourself. You'll be a genius. You'll be able to tell jokes, and I don't know what he's talking about politics. He's never been in politics. What are you, some kind of genius? All of you? You're a comedian. Why don't you tell some jokes and then get off the stage and leave everybody alone?
You're not a Bill Maher fan?
I like him, but I mean, he's just he's preoccupied with Trump. What happened is
he hates Trump, or
yeah, he hates Trump.
He hates
Trump. What happened is it's things
I
are.
could see Bill Maher liking Trump too, though.
No, he hates
seems
him.
like the type of guy that could like Trump, but
No, he really hates him. What happened is Trump sued him.
Oh.
Yeah, because what he did is he put Trump
recently.
No, a while ago, a long time ago, and he put him as an orangutan.
Oh.
And so he made it that his parents must have been. I'm paraphrasing, but that was like the suggestion that his parents are orangutans somehow. So Trump sued him for that.
Did he win?
No, I think he lost. It was just it was a comedian thing. Yeah, but the point is, he got upset that he got sued. He had to defend himself. Probably cost him money, but. You don't go after the parent. He loves his father. He gave him his whole construction and his, you don't go after the parents. I mean, if you do that in Brooklyn, you might wind up in a casket. I mean, you can't, it's the old thing about, what'd you say about my mother kind of deal.
Yeah.
You can't delve in that. I don't think you remember the old SNL when Richard Pryor was on. And he was doing a bit on The Exorcist. And so the little girl is spewing, did you ever see the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's vomiting in the green. And then she says something about his mother.
Yeah.
And so Pryor goes, what'd you say about my mama? And he starts joking her.
Yeah.
That really, he was all right until that. And that's just generally what what really Maher has against it. It's a person. Don't underestimate personal things.
Yeah.
People aren't that egalitarian. Nobody's like a Mother Teresa. This kind of like, if you attack somebody, they take it personally. And that's a shame, especially like if you're in the media or politics. You should remove that and just think, first of all, what happened to just telling us the news? We really don't need your genius, pundits, ideas. What happened to Walter Cronkite? That's the way. Just tell us what it is, and we'll figure out. Oh, and that goes back to me with what I talked about. You remember in a previous podcast about the fairness doctrine?
No.
You remember that? You know what the fairness doctrine is? Oh, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. But anyway, what it is it was pre-Reagan. I don't know. Reagan, I think, stopped it. If you had a guest on the news that had a point of view, you had to present an opposing point of view. You had to.
Oh, really?
It was a law. You see? And then I think it was Reagan that eliminated it based on freedom of speech. But it was a terrible mistake. And it caused a lot of this polarization because what's happening is like if it's Fox, if they're leaning conservative, if it's MSNBC, they're leaning liberal.
Right.
And they're putting on pundits that have that liberal. So people that are watching that specific station, they're only getting that and they're repeating it because that's what they're hearing. But if you had somebody else, then you could decide on your own. And it's a very bad idea that they eliminated it. And you got to remember something. The media today, they're running their business like it's a shoe business. They're not running it as if it's significant in what they're doing. You see, they're looking at it as revenue versus expense. Because if you really wanted to be doing your job in the media, you have to have at least 150, journalists with a crew going to each state and pulling the stories that affect them. Because you need about 3 times 50, maybe more. I mean, California, if you're going to have 3, that's not enough. It's a monster. Hawaii, maybe 3 is okay, right? Now think about how much that would cost. I mean, think about it.
A lot.
A fortune, right? Travel, insurance, stay, salaries, equipment, engineers. It's a fortune. But then you would really get the stories that are prevalent. But instead, what they do is they have one person, whoever it is, they pay him, I don't know, 5, 10 million. And then they hire about 5 or 6 pundits that are on salary, and they regurgitate the same things over and over that they probably all get from like an AP Wire or something like that. So you're really not getting what's really happening, because think about how much cheaper it is to do it that way, to do it the way I figure you should do it. But this is so significant that really you could say that you have to operate the media at a loss. If you want to do a great job in the media, it has to be a business loss. You cannot run it as a profitable thing because it doesn't work. You're just not getting the real. How do you know? How are you going to know exactly what's going on, really what's going on, unless you investigate? You have to investigate the journalism about it. But they don't do it. I mean, I have a guy who worked for me, a very good guy. He's a Bernie supporter. He watches MSNBC religiously, right? And so I asked him, who are you going to vote for? Are you going to, Biden, Kennedy? Because I knew he wasn't going to vote for Trump, right? Biden, Kennedy, undecided, right-in. He goes, oh, no, I'm voting for Biden because Trump will burn down the whole country. No, where do you think he got that from? He came up from his ideas from reading, whatever. He watches, and that's what happens. You gotta get, first of all, you gotta have the fairness, but you gotta get it. You gotta stop with all these pundits. You're just going to get the same things over and over and over again, just repeated over and over, whatever station. Anyway, what do we got? CNN slammed. See, you got to have word. This is very important when you're writing, right? Slammed. You know, you got to, who was slammed? What was slammed? You know, right away, say he was slammed. How was he slammed? What, did they lift him up and they threw him down on the ground? Somebody said something, he was slammed. Was he in the UFC? He was slammed. After John King's, this is from the Post, by the way. So the Post is leaning conservative. Josh Christensen. Wait a second. John King says PA Gov Josh Shapiro's Jewish faith makes him a risky VP pick. He said that. Well, the Jews, we got enough trouble. Leave us alone. Why don't you just talk about somebody else anyway, all right? We're a little bit of nothing. Leave us. We got enough problems already, okay? Forget about that. Just don't even talk about it. Small little, we've been decimated. Yeah, Holocaust, pogroms, bullying, tents, you name it, we got it, right? Can't even go to school. We're bothered to go to school. What did it say? Critics slammed, said there were risks. Okay, he said there were risks. Watch this. They won't even mention the risk. First of all, if you notice, it says risks, right? I'll bet you, let's count how many risks, because that's what the article says, risks. They didn't say risk. Okay. He's certainly, now, so first of all, he's certainly under consideration. But right away, if he says risks, let's hear the risks. I don't need to know any other crap. Oh, he said it whenever, with the boom and the bim and the bam. He's a first-term governor. He's Jewish. There could be some risks, okay? But certainly some of our voters here in Pennsylvania said, hey, so wait, look at this. Some of our voters, which ones? How many? Some, analog, not a digital. By the way, that's another thing. If you're going to write, you got to write digital. Some is nothing. How many? 3, 4? Who did you interview? Your mother? You called your mother and your father and your cousin. That's some of them. We don't know. Voters. Hey. They said hey. I guess they said, I wonder if all of them, you think all of them said hey, or just a few of them said, hey, we like Governor Shapiro. Give him a look. Okay. King, so far we don't know the risks. Do we know any of the risks, Christian? Nothing. But they said risks, okay? King, who announced plans to convert, he's converting to Judaism in 2008. Wait, he announced plans, but then he said, the hell with that. They're just going to pick on me. I'm not going to go with that religion. I'm going to go with somebody else. He was briefly married. Oh, look at this. He was briefly married. Did you know he was briefly married to CNN anchor Dana Bash, huh? I bet you they had a good time at the water cooler over there, huh? Yeah, they were probably only talking about the news. You know, those two was strictly the news. They are professional news. That's it. There's nothing going on. No hanky-panky. The news, these are two professionals. Who is Jewish? Oh, Dana Bash is Jewish. Did you know that? Oh, wow. That's some name for a Jewish person, Bash. I don't know how many Jews are bashing. I think she should change her name. Bash. What is she, in the UFC? That's a great name for the UFC, huh? Dana Bash. Boy, that's intimidating. While it is not entirely clear what prompted King's remarks, Democrats have been mired by infighting over the Israel-Hamas war. Okay, so it's a spillover, but we still don't know what the risks are. But I guess that's one of them. The popular X account underscored the hateful comment, pointing out how different it would be if the ethnic minority was replaced Jewish with Muslim or black. CNN point of view, being almost a minority is historic, being Jewish, risk Jewish in politics is risky and controversial. It says a lot. I mean, I don't know. I still didn't get the risks. What are the risks? I didn't get one risk. I guess the one is the Spiller, but he said risks. All right. I guess he's too busy thinking about Dana Bash. Okay. Jill Biden. Here's another one. Jill Biden sends shock message to Melania Trump. Ooh. After former First Lady's major announcement. Uh-oh. You think what we got here, huh? Well, there's a cat fight now, huh? Right? Uh-oh. It's going to get nasty here, right? It's going to be like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. You know, it's going to... Wait, I think that's misogynistic right now, right? I'm in deep shit, huh? Well, maybe we could cut that out. No? We'll leave it in? Well, what do you care? Your neck's not on the line. They don't even know what you look like.
True.
Yeah. Well, a handsome guy, I must say, but I give you credit. Who wrote this? Abigail O'Leary and John O. Two people had to write this. One of them, I guess one of them was talking to Jill, and the other one was talking to Melania, maybe. All right, here we go. Jill Biden has reportedly made a compassionate gesture. Oh, very nice. Following the shocking assassination attempt on Donald, that's very nice. The First Lady is said to have reached out to Melania by phone on Sunday evening, as per reports from the Mail. Per reports. So it's from the Mail. So we don't know exactly, but I guess, who wrote this? The Irish Star wrote. How did the Irish Star get involved with this? I don't know. It's been suggested that she will soon step back into the public eye for the first time in years after the incident targeting her husband. The development occurs. All right, so that's a nice story. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Good for her. I'm happy she did that. Very nice. I would hope that if, God forbid, it happened in the other way, it would have been reciprocated the same way, which is decent. That's what we need. We need decency. Behave like a normal human being and honor your parents and let the public know you were raised like a proper human being and not some idiot like this Crooks. What's his name? Crooks, right? Are you paying attention or are you sleeping over there? Crooks. Okay, he's sleeping. I'm sorry. He fell asleep. It's Crooks by those two Nimrods. Do you know that those two Nimrod parents were some type of counselors? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Hell of a good. You know what they should do immediately? They should immediately quit their job and reevaluate all the people that they were counseling and give them other counselors. Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what people are calling them in the comments?
Calling who?
The crooks.
What?
You know Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah, sure.
They're calling him Retardy Oswald.
Retarded Oswald?
Retardy Oswald.
Why retardy?
I don't know. Maybe because of how he looks.
How does that?
I'm not sure.
Huh? Well, that's another thing, by the way. All you people, all you kids that went to school, and I heard he was bullied a lot, you know, you got to stop all that crap. What are you doing? Where are the parents?
The bullying is continuing far.
What?
The bullying is continuing into the comments too, about him.
You know, that's this whole bullying. It's really got to stop. It's really got to stop. And by the way, I've said this before. If you want to stop anti-Semitism in America, Jewish parents, start your kids at 8 years old, or even you could do younger, and put them in the martial arts or put them into jiu-jitsu. I guarantee you, I would say, how many years do you think? I mean, 5 at least would be, and then 5 to 10 for sure, it's over. Nobody's going to, it's all, who do they bully on? This kid, I mean, you could look at him and you could see that, you know, I'm really surprised. There wasn't one person like on the football team that had like some really great parents that said, listen, you stand up for that kid. What's going on in school? You'll be the one. Stand with him. Talk to him. I don't know what would have happened, but maybe it wouldn't. I mean, You know, you can't do this, you kids. What are you doing, you high school nimrods? What are you doing? Leave him alone. He's a nerd, whatever. He's probably going to be, what do you think? You think Bill Gates? What do you think Bill Gates was? Huh? What do you think? Mark Zuckerberg when he went to school? What do you think he was? Captain of the football team? Look at what he became. What are you doing? Leave him alone. It's unbelievable. I don't know. I'm not making a direct line. I'm not playing connect. But I'm just saying it's not proper behavior. And you parents, and I've said this, and I'm going to say it again. We have a tipping point in America of crappy parents. I'm sorry to tell you that. I don't know what the number is, but it's a tipping point. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And I know I don't have children. Okay, throw me under the bus. I deserve it. I'm saying Mother's Day and Father's Day suspended for 5 years with courses, and you're going to take courses, and you're going to take an exam, and you're going to have to pass, and then we'll give it back to you. I'm sorry. You know, there's an old saying, Clinton came up with it, it's the economy, stupid. Well, I got my own. It's the parents, stupid. Okay? An apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that these parents told him what to do or whatever, but he was not raised properly, and the bullying in school, that didn't help either. How much? 36. Well, we're over. Okay. So that was that. I'm sweating already. You see, I told you 30 minutes. I went over. We probably lost people at 15 over. What? What were you going to keep going? Didn't I say 30 minutes? Yeah, you did. I made a fool of myself for another 6 minutes. Jesus. Well, my friend Noodles, he's going to tear into me. He's tough. He told me, by the way, you talk into the camera. Am I still on? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I'm going to end now because I'm sweating. I got all excited. And how am I going to end as usual, Christian?
God bless America.
God bless America, the greatest country the world has ever known. God bless the military, and God bless the American people. I'm out.